ABC. Welcome to the Haven Friends for Life Animal Shelter, Rayford, North Carolina. My name is Lyndon Spear. I'm the Executive Director.
Hi, I'm Gail Witt. I'm the President of the Board of Directors.
Hi, I'm John Tucker, Volunteer Coordinator.
Hi, I'm Robin Defendahl. I'm the Senior Adoption Counselor.
And hi, I'm David Osgood, the Outreach Coordinator. And on behalf of the Haven, welcome ABC!
For us at the Haven, animal rescue isn't a social club. We don't do this part-time. My husband and I live here. We're here 24 hours a day. Our standard workday with the animals is a 14-hour day, and then the volunteers go home, and my husband and I do the night shift. At midnight, we're making rounds, making sure everybody has water. At 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we're following the sound of the barking dogs to find out where there's been a dog dumped on the road out in front of the shelter. In a given year, we get 700 animals a year left in the street. Usually it's secretive in the middle of the night, and so that we can avoid picking them up the next day with a shovel. We're out there for hours every night, going through the woods and up and down the road out in front of the shelter, looking for whatever animals people have dumped. It's an enormous job, and that's okay. We don't mind that. We're doing what we love. We're doing what we feel we're morally compelled to do. But it could be a little bit easier. There's so much riding on the success of what we're doing, because there is no one else to step into the void if we're not here to do this. The work that we're doing here is absolutely critical. In a state with the 3rd highest kill rate in the nation, in a state where gassing at animal control is still legal, we have to be there. We are the last thing before these animals are killed at animal control. And the animals here are the lucky ones. A large percentage of them are going to be adopted, but we need to make sure that we're here when the next deploying soldier has his plans fall apart, so that what he thought was going to be arranged for his animal while he's going off to war, if it falls through, we're here. When people are getting divorces, when they're downsizing, when mom goes into a nursing home, there's got to be a place to take these animals. It's not the animals' fault. They are as dependent on us as children. And it's completely irresponsible that we send them to our deaths in our area shelters. It's not a shelter if we kill them. It's only a shelter if we can get them healthy, make them feel loved and safe, and work absolutely as hard as we can to get them into a forever home that deserves them. So I really hope you can help us, get to that next step in the growth of the Haven. We have to make a secure safety net for our community's homeless animals, and no one else is prepared to deal with the numbers, potentially, that we can. We have 140 acres here to develop for use by our animals. That's a unique, extraordinary gift. But our community doesn't have the deep resources to put up the buildings. We need your help. This is a 40-stall horse barn, which has been converted to do new arrival quarantine of animals coming into the Haven. Quarantine is important for disease control. We need to make sure that the new arriving animals are not going to make our other animals sick, and we need to protect them and isolate them while what is perhaps their first vaccines kick in, so that they have protection against diseases before we put them into the general population. We use a quarantine protocol designed by our on-staff veterinarians, but the Department of Agriculture has told us that we can no longer use this building unless we provide it with central heat and air. And the reality of the situation is it's such an enormous building, bigger than what we need, 2 stories tall. We can't afford to do the insulation and remodeling necessary to give it central heat and air, nor could we afford the utilities for a 2-story building when what we need is 1 story. So we're going to have to move the animals out of here. We really need to move them out truly immediately so that we can come into compliance with the state regulations. And we have several building initiatives around on the farm that we'll be showing you in a little bit. But being in the 3rd poorest county of North Carolina, we're just not getting the donations in to get the job done. And the bottom line is that the Haven is these animals' last best chance of A, staying alive, and B, getting adopted into forever wonderful homes. And we have a wonderful adoption program. There's no question that we can find them homes, But when the state is saying we have to change the housing or shut down, the lives of these animals are entirely in peril. We've adopted out over 30,000 animals. The question is, will we be here to adopt out the next 30,000 animals whose lives depend on coming in here? And right now, without your help, our future is, very much in question. So we really, really need your help. This is our animal hospital. This is where we quarantine animals who potentially have infectious diseases. We started out, this was just a plain concrete building, and we've put in the flooring and the air conditioning and the washable tiles, so it's disinfectable. But with a population of 1,000, we really could use some more space. We have approximately 20 catteries here at the shelter. The nice thing about having 140 acres is we can have many, many more catteries, and the catteries give our long-term resident cats quality life. It gives them an opportunity to be social with other kitties, to get exercise, sunshine. It's definitely the way we want to house our animals. We would like to be a cageless shelter, but it costs us approximately $500 per cat to put them into one of these catteries. We're limited by the Department of Agriculture. We can only put 12 cats in one of these catteries, no matter how large we make it. So it makes the building expenses very high, and we have 500 cats here. So while we have right now about 20 catteries under various stages of construction, we need more built so that we can give our animals the quality life they deserve while they're awaiting adoption. As you can see from this one, we're remodeling this one. We've torn up the linoleum. We need to waterproof the floor. We need to get more quality of life things into this room. The state has said that we can't have any wood or carpet in our catteries. So we've had to gut the catteries of what we used to use in terms of climbing areas for them. And we've got to rebuild all of our shelves and climbing areas. We used to have a network of ledges and things up to the ceiling, but because they were wood, we had to take them down. As you can see, these are wonderful, wonderful kitties that deserve a home. In North Carolina, it is still legal for shelters to sell animals for research. That's why in North Carolina we're home of Carolina Biological, which is the largest seller of companion animals for research. It's my understanding that all of the cats used for dissection and experimentation from the middle of the United States to Maine are homegrown pet cats from North Carolina, gotten through our shelter system. The no-kill movement is so important in North Carolina because we're the only thing that stands between these animals and potentially being killed for being surplus animals at animal control agencies or being sold for research. So it's really important that the Haven survive and continue to be a regional facility that can take in animals who are facing certain death at our local animal controls. Another thing that's important to remember is, although this year legislation came up so that we could eliminate the use of gas chambers in North Carolina, the initiative failed. And despite, by far the majority of people being against gas chambers in North Carolina, it is still legal and common for shelter animals to be killed in gas chambers when they're not adopted. This is one of our few air-conditioned places here on the farm. Obviously, we need to put our buildings with air conditioning. We put our fragile animals in here, animals that have come in with injuries that are not contagious, are housed in here until they're well enough to go outside. We'd like all of our animals to have access to air conditioning, and it's just, again, being in such a poor community with so many social needs, we're not getting the donations we need to get in to help our animals the way we need to. Come here, Buddy. Come here. I know, it's very exciting to be on television. Buddy's a bit of a local celebrity. He, a couple months ago, Good Samaritan called in a police report that a gang of guys were abusing this dog, kicking and beating him, and one of them had a machete. So animal control and the police responded. When they got there, the dog was in such terrible shape, the policeman called us in the middle of the night to see if we would help. Animal control transferred custody of the dog over to us because they weren't prepared to give it the veterinary care that it needed. As it turned out, we were not able to save his leg, and it also, as you know, we evaluated him. Although, you know, Buddy was the victim of a horrible night of torture from this gang, he was also the victim of months of neglect, and he came in with, you know, very advanced mange. So we'd been working on getting him healthy for a couple months. He's almost ready to be adopted. We've done a good job in getting the fur back, and as you can see from his bouncing around, he's a very happy boy, very resilient. So we're proud of Buddy's recovery. But it is a very common thing that in the middle of the night, animal control or county sheriff departments will call us that they have injured animals hit by cars. Animal urgent care hospitals will call us when people bring them animals and then are not equipped to pay veterinary bills, often on strays that they found injured on the side of the road. So, you know, it is a common occurrence for us to take in and help animals like Buddy. Emmy, come here! Come here! Here's my girl. Emmy was shot and left to die a horrible death in the woods. People called us when they found her thinking she'd been hit by a car. We took her to a veterinarian and found out that she was all full of bullets, and unfortunately one of them had severed her spine. So she's permanently paralyzed, but Emmy is resilient. She's kind of like the unsinkable Molly Brown. Nothing stops Emmy. And she's made a wonderful adaptation to her wheelchair, and she does public events with us, and she lives in the office with me. And she's just the best dog. You know, she teaches me that no matter what's going on during the day, there's something to smile about and celebrate. Emmy's the best. She likes chin rubs the best. The best. This is a family of pit bull puppies. It's actually just part of the family. These are part of a cruelty case. Canine officers from Pope Air Force Base brought us the puppies when it was discovered that a soldier had an illegal number of dogs on base, to say nothing of the pits, which are banned in base housing. So we took them, and again, it's a common thing that different police agencies will call us to step in when they're looking for no-kill shelter for animals that have come into their care. So we're taking care of the babies. Now, in terms of this yard, obviously the dogs are having a great time. You can see there's dirt all over their nose from digging. But we cannot, by state regulations, use yards like this to exercise the animals. We can't have the animals on grass. We can't have any access to the trees. We can't have more than 4 animals in a pen, no matter how large it is. And, this is just a litter of puppies, but they need to be separated. They need to be on concrete or gravel. So, for us to keep giving these animals quality of life, we need help building them pens that will pass inspection and maintain a license for us. Oh, babies. This is Moore Haven property. Our dog walkers frequently come up and walk around the racetrack. We're going to be working on restoring the racetrack starting in about 2 weeks. But this is still an area of the property that we just don't have the money to maintain and develop. And it's a wonderful community resource for, long walks with the dogs, visits with the horses, just, sitting out in the country and enjoying the sound of the birds in the background. This is our wash area, and we've been doing adoptions all day, so we haven't had a chance to police it or tidy it up. But, we're washing food bowls and cages for 1,000 animals in a dip tank. So, obviously, it would be a huge thing if we could have, a building that had a general wash area with a washer, a dryer, a big industrial dishwasher, and a place to hose out the kennels. That would be a real godsend for us. As you can see, You know, we have a wonderful adoption program. You know, many, many lives are at stake. And yet, you know, we can spend our money on the next dog that the police call us in the middle of the night because the dog has been hit by a car and left to die in the ditch. Or we can be packing it away to use in some time in the future to build the building we'd like to have. And, you know, that's just not, you know, a decision I can make. When the animal's at my feet saying, help me or I'm dead tonight, I'm going to help the animal. And my husband and I have, you know, 140 acres to give to this project. We don't have heirs. It's our intention that it be used for the benefit of the animals. You know, there just is no other money coming in to complete the projects we started. And, you know, again and again and again, you know, this state has the 3rd highest kill rate in the nation. The animals are here going through our adoption program or they are dead. That's why shelters and animal controls who have groups around them that care about the animals drive all the way across the state to bring animals in to transfer to us to go through our adoption program. But we have to have a facility that meets their needs and gets us into compliance with state regulations, or, you know, this will be our last year of operation. And that is a crime, given the number of animals we have proven we can help and the animals who in the future will need us. Because, you know, in operating here for 14 years, there is no other group coming up behind us to do what we do. You know, we do it or it doesn't get done, and that is a fact. One of our goals for the future is to build a green shelter. We would certainly like to install solar panels, maybe some windmills, anything that would contribute to making us more energy efficient, making us more environmentally correct. You know, certainly while we are sacrificing so much to save our animals, we should be doing what we need to do to save our planet too. And I think it would be really exciting if we could, you know, set an example here that, you know, we believe in going green while we're saving our pets. These are some of our dog kennels. We use tarps for shade. It would certainly be nice if we could put up a permanent roof. Every year we spend $3,000 to $4,000 on tarps, which is terribly expensive and wasteful when the tarp only lasts for 6 or 7 months. But it's less expensive and gets the shade done for these animals. You know, today, you know, the heat index today is about 100 degrees, so we're all melting while we film this. But, you know, we can't not have the shade, and if you can help us put permanent roofs on top of these kennels, it would be even better. Here are more of our kennels. One of our advantages is with 140 acres, we can give our animals large, spacious cages. By state law, we simply have to give them room to stand up, lay down, and turn around, which is criminal. Particularly for a no-kill shelter where the animal could be in that cage for quite a while. So we've got to give them quality of life. We would like help building more big cages. You know, we need big exercise yards on top of this. And again, by state law, they can't come out here and exercise on the grass. It has to be gravel or concrete. And if you do concrete, then you have to have professionally done drainage systems, and it's just beyond our budget to get that done. He came in mauled and we had to amputate the leg. And he's a little bit shy, doesn't like going to PetSmart, it scares him. This is my friend Kit, and Kit is one of our problem children. Very, very sweet dog, but really impossible to confine. Chip has chewed through probably about $5,000 worth of fencing. If he can't chew, he climbs. I would love to give him a larger cage, but it's a matter of, you know, what we can afford for him. He's destroyed so many of the cages we've put him in, and you know, it's hard to put him in a pen like that and cover the entire top. He'll stand there and chew out at the top. so we need kind of a zoo quality construction for him. But it's, you know, certainly a high priority to get him into a nicer cage. We let him out to run and visit with us, but when we can't be back here babysitting with him, poor little thing's kind of stuck here in jail. Yeah, you're a good dog. We just spent about $4,000 on gravel. By state regulations, we either have to have the dogs housed on concrete with drainage systems or 6 inches of gravel. 6 inches of gravel is less expensive, but we're located in the sand hills, so the gravel mixes with the sand and disappears. Plus, every time we go into the cage to clean it, we're picking up gravel along with the dog poop, and then we have to pay to have it hauled away after we've paid to have it hauled in. So, to get to our next inspection, we're trying to get this gravel spread so that we meet the specs for how deep the gravel needs to be. But, you know, the way to go is to give the animals large concrete pens, and the problem with that is the cost per square inch to accomplish that. So we really need your help. This is our wash area. It really is too small to meet our needs. We bathe dogs over here, we wash dishes here. You know, obviously, we need, you know, a couple industrial dishwashers. We need more storage space. We're going to show you in a little bit a building project that has stalled because we don't have the money to finish it. But until we finish it, this is where we're operating, and it's difficult. You know, this is a horse barn. It's not built to do what we're doing with it. But again, the theme is the animals are here, they're dead. And we've got to do as best as we can with what we have. We've worked really hard to give the animals as much quality of life as we can. And for the dogs, what they need for quality of life while they're awaiting adoption, they need space, they need companionship of other animals, they need space to play, and they need fresh air for their own health. So the animals live out here. It's a temperate climate. You know, right now it's pretty horrible. We're up to heat index of about 100 degrees. But typically with shade, we can be pretty comfortable. To our left here is an overgrown play and exercise area. We're trying to kill the grass, and again, we've got to get 6 inches of gravel in it before the state will allow us to use it again. You can see that frequently we're forced to use plastic barrels for dog houses. When we first opened, we could get the local Boy Scouts to build us beautiful wooden dog houses for the dogs. But the Department of Agriculture passed regulations saying that the animals couldn't have any contact with wood, so we had to throw away all of our insulated wooden dog houses. And what we could afford was to replace them with was free plastic barrels. Now, obviously, we would prefer to give them big, spacious, made-for-the-task dog houses that are disinfectable. But until we can afford that, they're in plastic barrels. This is a building that we started construction on, but it stalled due to, running out of funds. This is going to be a front meet and greet area and offices. A room there for washer, dryer, washing area for the dogs. Some intake processing animal area. And then 3 lines of kennels. of course, this building's set up for air conditioning and heat. But realistically, this building is 30 by 70 feet, and the building that we're moving out of is 100 by 70 feet. So it's a big change in our size. We can't cram those animals directly into this building. It just isn't going to work. We need more than this, and we don't have the money to finish this. This is our friend Lagrange, and he was brought to us as a little itty-bitty thing, barely out of his shell. We didn't realize, we actually thought when we got him that he was a duck, but he grew into a goose. And what we've been told, you can see that his wings are funny. Apparently, when they come out of the egg, people break their wings so that they'll stay in a pond and keep people entertained and not ever be able to fly away. So that's what we're dealing with his wings. Obviously, this isn't an ideal setup for him. He's outgrown it. He's ready to come in and have his dinner, but during the day he floats around in this little pool. But we would love to give him a pond and get him a couple buddies, because they certainly are social animals. He needs he needs to be part of a flock. He can't just be one goose. But we've got plenty of land to give him a little pond and a safe area, but because of his wings, we've got to make sure that it's protected against predators. But he would certainly like some help. Maggie, I will get you to open the door. Well, this is my office. It doubles as a place for babies that are being bottle fed to live. Our dog that's paralyzed and is our little mascot lives in the office with me. We have a special needs cat over here who lives in the office because he has a stricture in his throat, needs to eat special cat food. Really important that we watch and make sure that no one accidentally feeds him the wrong cat food because he can't swallow. We have several of the dogs that we use in our animal assisted therapy program are just in the office visiting with us right now. You can see that my desk is overwhelmed. We have to run 5,000 animals a year through the computer system, record 2,500 adoptions, and the desk is this big. So when I'm being interrupted constantly between typing in the entries and doing adoptions and stopping to do medication on the animals, stopping to spend the day filming for the home makeover, it's difficult to do it on a desk that's this big. None of my projects I never get to sit down and complete a project from beginning to end. It's always start and stop, and then you've got 6 projects going on at the same time. You don't get to finish any of them. And a little more storage space would be nice. I taught a class on how to train service dogs, and Maggie was my little teaching assistant.
Is this sometimes where you spend your night right here in this chair?
Yes. I slept there last night because I was taking care of sick puppies. And, we certainly could use a little place for volunteers and, whoever's doing night duty with the animals to be a little bit more comfortable. Because this is it.
It's pretty sad there's this many unwanted pets in just one little spot.
So tell me about you. Are you a volunteer?
I've been a volunteer since I started in 1996. So I've been here for quite a while. I mostly deal with cats, cleaning cages, I walk dogs. I'm usually out here 8 hours every other Saturday. do what I can. Please, Extreme Makeover, come to the Haven and help with all these homeless, unwanted animals. We don't feel like euthanization is the way to handle the overpopulation problem, so we're doing everything we can to keep our doors open, keep these animals fed and taken care of, so good people can come and give them good homes. So we need help. We don't get government or state help. They rely a lot on volunteers like me to come out and walk the dogs and bathe and take care of the cats and feed, and there's just not enough time in the day to do everything we need to do. It's hot out here. We don't have air conditioning, obviously. We don't have everything we need. Sometimes we don't have adequate food. They rely on people to donate money and donate food, and it's tough. And I think the animals deserve better. That's all I know to say. I'm a little different out here. I don't get involved with the adoptions or the fun things or the fundraisers. I basically come out and do some behind the scenes, nitty-gritty, dirty work, I guess you'd call it. A lot of people don't like doing that, but it's necessary as well to take care of them. And they don't have enough money to pay everybody that they need to, so they need people like me to do what I can out here. So if you can help the Haven, it would be greatly appreciated. It's a great cause. We owe these animals. They give us so much, we need to give back to them. That's all I know. 14 years. Every animal I have 13. They've all come from out here. I have 11 cats, 2 or 3 dogs. I usually take the ugliest, some lame, some sick, some abused, that nobody else wants. I usually wind up with them, which is fine because they're the best pets ever. They're like kids. Okay. So I need to get back to work. Too, a lot of people are giving up their animals because they can't afford to feed them anymore. So they suffer even more than they've been suffering.
Hello, my name is John Tucker. I'm a volunteer with the Haven Friends for Life No-Kill Animal Shelter. I've been volunteering with this shelter for over 12 years now. I'm retired Air Force. I started doing this when I retired from the Air Force, and I'm hooked on it because of what it actually does. It saves the lives of cats and dogs. We find homes, and we've found homes for over 30,000 since this shelter's been in operation. I'm in charge of the Pet Adoption Center at PetSmart in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where it's a marriage made in heaven. We bring our animals up there on the weekends, have them up for adoption, and find loving homes. It is one of the most rewarding volunteer duties I've ever done, and I highly encourage it for anyone who's got plenty of time on their hands. What's really good about it is the volunteers that we do have. We've got teenagers that have been helping us, some from the time they were 13, 14 years old, and now they're going to college. And they come back on the weekends to help us too. It's a great way to build character, a great way to build trust and responsibility. And if I had 10 kids, I'd have them up here doing it. ABC, we need your help. The No-Kill Animal Shelter, the Haven Friends for Life, needs your help in staying open. We've, as I said earlier, we've adopted 30,000 animals, cats and dogs, since we've been in operation. And we're at a critical time with the economy the way it is. We need your help to help us redo our shelter. This little animal that I have in front of me is one of them that's looking for a home. We got many more like it, and with your help we can continue to do what we do best. Find homes for pets. Thank you.
Hi Ty, this is Gail. I volunteer for the Haven and we really appreciate and need your help in your compassion side, because we have over 1,000 animals here that need homes, and we need to redo our shelter, and we just don't have the funding or the manpower to do it. We need ABC to come out and help us. We have done as much as we can for as far as we are. This one here is one of my fosters. I do fostering for the Haven. I have fostered over 30 kittens, and I have actually had 13 at one time. What I do is I bottle feed. These are kittens that don't have homes, that don't have mommies. We cannot adopt them out until they're at least 9 weeks old, and they have to have a home. They have to have somewhere to live until then. Lyndon Spear is the owner. She has done so much for this farm. She's given up her life for the animals. These animals are her babies. We need you to come out and help her. She is struggling so hard. We just need you so bad. So it's just so hard to say everything that we need to say in a short video, but we need your compassion, and we need your love, and we need your help. Thank you.
That's out of the van.
You're very sweet.
He just came in from Rockingham County this week.
So it's Rockingham.
Richmond County? You mean Rockingham? In Richmond County?
No,
or?
Rockingham County.
County. That's pretty far away, isn't it?
Dublin. You're doing all sorts of ones now. How many counties? 6? 5, 6?
5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6 counties. That's a lot. That's a real lot. So, anyways, we just got back, okay, from doing an adoption. We did a special senior adoption today at the Women's Exchange, okay, trying to get some of our older animals adopted. We had some interest. We're hoping some people will come back.
And it's a busy weekend because there are adoptions at PetSmart as well.
PetSmart in Aberdeen. That doesn't include the PetSmart in Fayetteville and whatever else is happening in Fayetteville County, or Cumberland County, I should say. And yeah, we work Moore County. We're asking you, okay, please, we do 6 counties. We say from 6 counties. We adopt out all over. We're the state's largest. We really need some help to get this fixed up. Please. You know, the state's riding our butt. These little kids all need homes.
This is a home to over 1,000 animals right now, and
That's
they need a better place to live, and you have the power to help make that happen.
That's right.
This here, would you like me to get that for you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, somebody had thrown them out by the bridge, and my brother and I just happened to be fishing that morning, and found them. They were in weeds taller than I am, and I got them out, and their eyes were open, but they were just barely able to walk and stuff, so they've been with me. So I hope y'all take care of them, and I hope somebody that loves them gets them. I would keep them, but unfortunately I'm having to move pretty soon, and I can't take them with me.
Really like for you to come to the Haven Friends for Life Animal Shelter. This place really could use a makeover, and we do so much good work here, and there's so much more that could be done if we had better facilities. I'm a veterinarian that works with the Haven. I'm not the only one, there are others. But this is a surgery room. All our animals that are adopted are spayed and neutered, vaccinated, dewormed, before they are adopted out. We do more adoptions than probably all the other shelters in the area put together in a year. And this is our surgery room. You can see it's pretty small, and we put a lot of surgeries through here. I'm retired military reservist, and my husband's retired military, and a lot of the problem we see in this area, and we see a lot of military animals that end up homeless, and it's a great help to them. A lot of our surrenders are for military families, and it helps us to be able to rehome those animals and find a place for them to go. We really could do a lot more for the area, potentially even a low-cost spay neuter clinic for the Fayetteville-Rayford area, which would be a wonderful way to help owners to be responsible owners and help reduce the pet population on their own. Please come. I think you can see that we have hundreds and hundreds of animals. The better facility we have, the better job we can do of getting these animals ready for adoption and rehoming them. Your help would be really appreciated here.
Hi, I'm Robin Defendahl, and I'm one of the volunteers at the Haven Friends for Life. I've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years, and what I've been doing most recently is being an adoption counselor, and one of the ones that decides who gets to take home an animal and who does not. The people behind us are looking at some of our animals, and they may make a decision about which one would meet what they need. But then we'll have to do an adoption application and approve their application. And then it involves a lot of paperwork on our part, because we track these animals to make certain that the adoption works out well, that the animal doesn't end up in animal control 6 months from now, and to try to make sure that it's a good match for everyone. The problem is that involves a lot of record keeping and a lot of computer time. We have one computer in the office, and it would be so great to have multiple computers so that several volunteers at a time can do the intake information on the animals and have all that paperwork ready to go when we're ready to go to adoptions at PetSmart on the weekends. If we have that paperwork already completed, then it'll make it so much easier for us when we're trying to activate the adoption and the insurance that comes with it. And it just makes things so much easier to have things well in hand as far as the paperwork goes before we even begin trying to adopt these animals out. We can't do that without the computers and the space to do that in. Another thing that we really need is some space to file all of our paperwork. We could use some laptops to take with us into the field. When we go to PetSmart, we have to take written paperwork that indicates all the shot records and all the medical information, and to bring back all the customer information for the person that adopts this animal. And that paperwork on paper is hard to deal with. It's harder for us to track if someone has adopted from us before or been declined by us before. We have some software that can do it for us, but we need laptops with internet connectivity that we can use in the field when we go out to do our adoptions. Because the vast number of our adoptions actually happen not at the shelter, but at other locations like PetSmart. So please, ABC, if you could help us in any way to try to get that technology up and running. We have the software to do the adoptions. We just need the physical computers to be able to do it. Another thing that we'd really like to have that's software we don't currently have is something like Creative Suite to do the publicity information and the educational materials that we produce to send home with our adoptions. We're trying to make do with what software we have, but we need something that'll put out a professional product. So if we could have those computers preloaded with, or at least one computer preloaded with Creative Suite, that would be wonderful. And having tried to do a newsletter with Microsoft Word, I can tell you, you would be my friends forever. So please, ABC, if you can help us out, it would make such a difference to 1,000 animals. And with 30,000 adoptions in the past 10 years or more, we've shown that we can do it, but let's see how we can really do it when we have what we need.
I like this guy. I really do like this guy. I do.
We're in the Army and we just need a friend to come home to.
Yeah, we have to, where we live, we can only have a 25-pound dog. Can't be any more than 25 pounds. I think this guy will do. He's calmed down a little bit. Kind of get used to it. It's not as excited as he was. I think it'll be a good dog.
She bought me one at PetSmart for, you guys brought down there for my birthday. And I guess
now it's your best friend.
Yeah. And I love it. Now we're just trying to find a little playmate for her. So we came back here. That's really it.
Are you guys in the military?
Yeah. I am. She's not. She's a school teacher in Cumberland County.
Is there something unique about or special, extra special about being, you know, a serviceman and also having a dog in your life?
It's good to have one, just so when I'm gone, she has company. Really.
He seems sweet. What was the story on him?
She just came in this afternoon. She's about 8 months old. She's spayed. She's vaccinated. She's house trained. Person. I think she's deformed.
And ABC, this van that we have has 234,000 miles on it. We use this van for everything. It hauls everything that we need to have hauled for our shelter. It hauls animals back and forth between PetSmart for adoptions. It's driven to animal controls to pick up animals that are slated to be euthanized so that we can bring them back here to give them a second chance. It's driven back and forth to stores to pick up donated food or food that we have to buy out of our pockets. It's used to haul everything. This thing gets hundreds of miles on it a week, and we really need something that's more suited for what we really want to use it for. It would be great if we could have a couple of small vans to pick up things like dog food and things like that. But what we also want, and especially want, is a special vehicle designed specifically to do adoptions at remote locations. Something that's big enough for people to walk through and see the animals in cages. Something that gives us the space to display animals and to transport them safely. Something that's air conditioned with great ventilation, because the cage doors that we attach to this are barely adequate for what we need. We really need something that's designed for the use that we want to put it to. And this is a make-do vehicle. It does everything for us, but it's not what we really need. We really need a great adoption vehicle about the size of a Winnebago, perhaps, that can go off and hit the different locations. If we had 2 of them, we could probably double our adoptions that we do. We do 50 adoptions at least every weekend at PetSmart in Fayetteville. And we could be doing 100 adoptions a week if we had enough rescue vans to be able to transport our animals to the places where the people are that want to adopt them. It can make such a difference. 30,000 animals adopted in the past 10 years have proven that we can do this. And if we have what we really need to do the job, there's no telling how we could affect the euthanasia rate in the Fayetteville and North Carolina area. We can make a huge difference in the no-kill movement in North Carolina, but we need someone to help us because we just can't fund it out of our pockets. Anything you can do for us, ABC and Ty, would just be so wonderful for the animals. And the animals are why we do this. I wouldn't be here for just any organization. I'm here because the Haven puts up the effort to get done what needs done, and we could do so much more with your help. Thanks, ABC.
Hello, Extreme Home Makeovers. I'm Sergeant Osgood.
I'm Private Ray.
We're both from Fort Bragg, both soldiers. Right here in between us is my pal Berkeley. He's the first dog I ever rescued for the Haven. We rescued him from down in Columbus County, which is pretty far from here, about 3 hours drive. And he was about a half hour from being away from being put in the gas chamber and euthanized as an unwanted dog. They were actually closed the morning, but I knew they were euthanizing dogs that day. So I kind of talked my way in, went inside, and there were 16 dogs that were going to be put down in a gas chamber. They're all getting ready to be put on board the truck, taken to the county euthanasia center. And he was one of them, and obviously one look in his eyes, I just had to rescue him. And in fact, I rescued all of them. They were $25 a piece, worth every penny. All I had was my little station wagon with about 4 little doggy cages that I had purchased the night before from PetSmart. And he was in my front seat because I ran out of space. And I made 3 trips that day and got them all out and up to the Haven, and we've been adopting them out. And a classmate of mine, Private Ray here, heard about the Haven, and I of course knew about Berkeley, and I want to put those two together. He's such a special little guy, and the idea that such a wonderful dog like this could be put down, it's very sad. But I know he's been a good pal to Ray.
Indeed. The first time I heard about the Haven, I was talking to Oz out at a training phase we were both at, and I was telling him that me and my wife would like to have an animal because it was so boring with just the two of us sometimes, no one to care for. We've always wanted kids. We figured the first step would be to get an animal to see how we could deal with that. So I talked to Oz about that, and he told me about the Haven, and we came out here as soon as we were done with training. I came out here one time with her. We browsed through all the animals, saw them all, and we walked several of them. A few of them were pretty skittish. We weren't sure yet. The last dog we actually saw was Berkeley here. He introduced me to Berkeley, and he was real calm, real quiet, didn't bark, wasn't loud, and that was kind of the dog we were looking for. So we took about a week to think about it, and having seen several of the dogs, we knew that Berkeley was the one for us.
Yeah, it's been great, and I've been so proud to be part of this organization. I'm down here for the next year and a half, stationed down here, and unfortunately, I can't rescue all the dogs. I'd like to adopt them all, but being able to just be a part of, stories like this means a lot to me. And it means a lot to a lot of soldiers. And we've been able to adopt out 30,000 rescued dogs and cats since 1996. Every one of them spayed, neutered, microchipped, fully vaccinated. They all get quarantined for about 3 weeks with us to make sure they're not carrying any little puppy diseases or little kitty diseases. And then they immediately go right into the adoption routine.
Another aspect about the Haven is that the Haven works closely with soldiers from Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg is very close to here, and there are so many animals here at this post, and there are so many soldiers on post at Fort Bragg, that why not get some of these guys out here? A lot of them want them. A lot of my friends want dogs and new friends. So I talked to several of my buddies who have come out here and walked dogs in the past, and though they can't, most of them are single, they can't get an animal to live in the barracks with them. But just getting out here and walking a dog and having a friend for the day is just something that gets them close to home. And also something about injured soldiers.
Yep, definitely. We're starting an injured soldier program. So many of these dogs, we rescue so many dogs. A lot of them are older, a little bit harder to adopt, and it is a completely untapped resource in the area of animal therapy and animal assisted activities. We have a lot of vocational training programs all laid out. We're waiting for the funding and the sponsorship, but I can train people vocationally to work with these dogs, and then to go on and work with soldiers suffering from PTSD, suffering from limited mobility. I've seen it so many times. An animal, dog or cat, a companion animal, bring a soldier back from the war. Even though they've come back from Iraq and Afghanistan, so much of them is still stuck over there. And so many times family members will say, thank you for bringing my son home, because that dog or cat allowed him to be vulnerable emotionally and to open up in a way that oftentimes more traditional therapy isn't able to. And that is a completely untapped resource and so often undervalued in our community around here, for the fact that a lot of these dogs are thrown away. I mean, quite literally gassed and thrown away, when they could be used as animal behaviorists, animal therapists. Just, they don't have to necessarily be adopted. We can bring soldiers here. And in fact, that was one of the original goals of the Haven, was to open a community center here. And we already have plans laid out, but we need that sponsorship so we can continue that mission and reach every soldier. Because not every soldier out there has the opportunity, and we can give that to them here at the Haven. And we've been extremely successful, but we have a lot of projects that we've had to put on the back burner because of funding. We have more dogs and cats than ever that need homes because of the economy, but because of the economy, we're less and less able to meet that demand. And we would love your help to come down and really save the Haven, save these little guys' lives, and allow us to keep our doors open so we can continue to save special little guys like Berkeley, who mean so much to so many soldiers and so many community members in Fayetteville. So thank you guys very much, and we hope you come visit us.
Hey ABC, I'm here to nominate the Haven, which is a no-kill animal shelter down here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And all they work on is donations, and they're trying really hard to make all these wonderful animals have great care and get them out and get them adopted to good homes here. But like I said, all they work is on donations, and they're trying to make it up to state code, which they just can't do on their own, and they're just not getting the donations. So what they really need is your help to come and provide a wonderful place for these animals to be. There's so many soldiers here and veterans, and I think that this place has great potential to really help out the community, help out all the animals that don't have homes. And it would be wonderful if you could come and help them out. Animals need great homes too, and we would love for Extreme Makeover Home Edition to come and give all these animals a great home and really help out North Carolina.
I'm actually deploying to Afghanistan here in about a week, but when I heard about this, I felt like it was important enough for me to come out here and show my support to the Haven and all my animal friends out here, because they really need the help and they don't have anyone to say anything for them. So I felt like it was my obligation to come out here and speak up for them, because they really need the help out here, and this place is a great place for these animals. And by providing these animals with the care they need while they're here, they just they set other people up to come and adopt these animals, and that gives them just a beautiful chance in their life. And getting these pets is a wonderful thing for the soldiers and the people around Fayetteville and Fort Bragg area. So it's important to me that this place stays around and gets the donations and help it needs to really make a difference. As a soldier getting ready to deploy, also another thing that I know a lot of other soldiers that I work with are thinking about too is what they're going to do with their pets, that they can't keep and they can no longer take care of while they go overseas. The Haven, being the place that it is, will take in your pets, and you don't have to leave wondering if your pet's going to be put down 3 days later, or if your pet's going to be okay, because they will take your pet for you and try and find a home for your pet. And they can also try and foster your pet and find someone else to take care of it for you until you get back, and then you can get it back. So they're just willing to help you in so many different ways, and you don't have to worry about your pet, and you don't have to worry about bringing a stray you find here, because you know that they're going to do whatever they can to find a good home for them.
Hi, I'm a volunteer at the Haven Friends for Life, and I'll just tell you that we really need the Extreme Makeover people to come out here and to help us with this facility. We can't afford to rebuild it or build a new one, and we save so many animals here. It's a great place to volunteer, and it's particularly good for seniors to come out. I'm a senior. I volunteered here for 3 years. I do some fostering, and I work with the laundry, and I do some cleaning here. So there are just a lot of volunteer things that can be done here, but we really need a new facility. We really do.
Right now we're walking through the backwoods of our 140 acres. We already have 2 miles of nature trails roughly cut. It's a project we'd love to finish, but expanding it would allow us to really turn this into a beautiful wooded area, into a beautiful park where people can come with their pets, to ride bikes, to enjoy the scenery, sit by a little pond. We also have a little area for an off-leash dog park that we want to complete.
Hang on just a second, please. Maggie, come here. How many kittens do you have? And do you have the mother? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Have you had them into, okay, you've had them for 2 months. Have you had them into a vet? Are they dewormed or vaccinated? Okay, nothing done yet? Okay.
There you go. Go get her. Go get her.
The Haven is a really incredible property. We own about 140 acres. The property line goes down to the fence there. You saw the pond earlier. It extends beyond to the far side of the pond and up a hill. And then at this fence line all the way over to that row of trees. And then back 140 acres through the dog kennel area. And then we've got more pasture and space on the other side of the dog kennels up to Highway 211. So it's an enormous property that offers open fields, hiking trails, a beautiful pond. It's a wonderful area for recreation. And when my husband and I first purchased the property, we had envisioned turning a portion of it into a community center. As we became more integrated into the community and identified community needs, you know, as you obviously know, we decided to open a no-kill shelter to serve our community's homeless pets. But we still live in a county that's the 3rd poorest county in North Carolina. This county doesn't have a senior center, it doesn't have a recreation center, it doesn't have a boys club, a girls club, a YMCA. And what we found in hosting our community's homeless animals is that working with these animals attracts people from all demographics, cross-generational activities, after-school programs for juveniles at risk, a place for seniors to come out and socialize while taking care of our animals. So, you know, what we have always believed and what the Haven has been founded on is the concept that our homeless animals can be converted from being perceived as a community drain to a community asset, and that's what the place is all about. So we really, really hope you can help us, you know, move into a new stage of operation where our future is secure and we can continue to help not only our community's homeless animals, but the community as a whole. Thank you.
I didn't know that. He's actually a deployment dog too.
With a lot of deployment dogs.
Yeah.
Really is a great opportunity for soldiers like myself to just get away from Fort Bragg just for a little bit. It's really just 15-20 minutes outside the base and you feel like you're a million miles away if that's what you want. You just melt into the woods with your own dog or come walk a Haven dog. It helps them socialize, helps you relax. You just leave feeling so good about helping them, knowing that they're a rescue dog, oftentimes pulled, you know, a half hour sometimes from being euthanized in animal control, found on the side of the road with, you know, very, very shaky probabilities to survive. And the Haven
you know, God bless them. They found these dogs. They don't put down a single one. They'll support them for as long as they need to be here. And it's such a great opportunity for soldiers and for seniors and for children to come out here and to really develop vocational skills, to relax, to recover emotionally, either from military deployment or just from a long day. It really provides so much, and we keep hearing potential over and over again. That's what really this is all about, asking you to help us fulfill our potential. Without you, the Haven, I don't want to say is going to go away, but it has a less certain future. And with it, all these animals. We are a rock solid group of people. We've given everything. Many have given even their very last dime to keep this animal organization going. But the potential with miles of nature trails, with soldier therapy, it's unquestionable. So please come visit us. It would be wonderful.
Thank you, ABC, for coming to look at the Haven. We really, really appreciate having an opportunity to show you what we've accomplished so far and also what we need to keep our program going. You know, the Haven, we started the Haven 14 years ago, and initially my husband and I purchased the property to be a horse farm, but very quickly we learned that what this community needed was not another horse barn, but we needed a no-kill shelter to help our animals. North Carolina has the third highest death rate in the nation in its shelters. In a 4 or 5 county area, we kill 27,000 surplus companion animals every year. When we moved here to North Carolina, you saw loose animals and dead bodies littering every single roadside. And you know, where I came from, seeing a loose dog on the side of the road, it was, you know, the equivalent of seeing a 2-year-old walking down the highway. It was an emergency. Someone's dog was loose. But that's not true here. Here, it's just another one of the homeless animals that rove the streets, waiting for the car that abandoned them to come back, trying to live, you know, to eke out a meager existence, eating roadkill. You know, it is a terrible, terrible thing. And, you know, when we started, the community was largely complacent and disempowered about this issue. The no-kill movement really hadn't reached North Carolina when we came here. The only shelter in our county was a kill shelter. It's still here. It's an animal control agency. It's located at the county dump. The facility has about an 85% kill rate on its dogs. For cats, it's about 95%. Particularly in a community that serves the Fort Bragg area, one of our largest military bases. I felt it was really important that we offer the deploying soldier an alternative to letting his last act on American soil be to arrange to kill his pet, because there wasn't a place to take him when his plans for his pet fell apart at the last minute. One of our visions for the facility when we first started was to make it a community center, because we had so much land that we had an opportunity to purchase, more than we could ever use. But what we would like to do now is develop it as a community center. Hope County, where we're located, is one of the poorest counties in North Carolina. We do not have a rec center. We don't have a boys club or girls club. We don't have a senior center. We don't have a YMCA. So what we believe and what we're trying to work toward is the idea that using helping the homeless animals as our center theme, we can make our property into a community center, serving not just Hope County, but surrounding counties as well. We can attract in volunteers of a wide variety of demographics. We can give senior citizens, while they're volunteering to help the animals, an opportunity to maintain social relationships, to have garden clubs, to have senior singles date night out walking the dogs. We have done a program for the local prison, Paws Raising Bars, where we did vocational training. Our dogs provided an opportunity for the prisoners there to learn vocational skills with dog training and kennel management. We have taught classes at the local technical school to help people train service dogs, thinking that it would be a community service for the disabled person who would like to train their own dog, but also that it would open up a new adoptive market for some of our animals that you know, were not being adopted through traditional means. We've done a lot of animal-assisted therapy since we opened. We've done programs through the Governor's SOS program for juveniles at risk after school, junior high students, worked with their animals. We did programs for grade school aged children with developmental disabilities. We've done programs for Boys Club, Girls Club. We've done programs for preschoolers with developmental disabilities, all animal-assisted activity and therapy programs using our shelter animals. You know, what we believe and what the Haven's founded on is the concept that the homeless animal is not a community drain, but it's a community asset. And if we all get together and pool our resources, we can not only create a no-kill community for our homeless animals, but the rewards that we get from doing this help our people as well. And you know, the volunteer experience here empowers people, and it shows people that you can take control of what you thought was a hopeless situation, and you can turn it around. And we can not only save these animals, but we can provide so much good for the people that work with these animals. We have a large population of volunteers who are soldiers. And you know, not only do we provide the soldier who is deploying and needs a safe place for their animal to go, you know, the reassurance that we will keep their animal and give him whatever time it takes for him to be rehomed. It's also a place for people who are, you know, separated from their homes and their families, you know, that are, you know, doing deployment after deployment. They need a place to go to, you know, escape from responsibilities of the war, you know, escape from being on base, and they can come out here and they can walk out in the woods, they can pet the horses, they can sit in the cat rooms with the cats, or they can just sit and stroke the dogs. They can participate in the adoption program and help us, you know, present our animals to the public, or they can just sit with our animals and, you know, have both the animal and the person take comfort from the interaction. Our animals have so much to give, and they ask for so little in return. It's really important when we're the only facility dealing with this number of animals that we not fail. You know, their lives are in our hands, and you know, this is not a task that we can fail at, but you know, we do have obligations in terms of remodeling, and those obligations are very difficult to meet given the current economy, and also the fact that, you know, we are in a very impoverished portion of North Carolina. You know, we're not going to get the donations to develop this facility from our Hope County residents. They just don't have it to give. We'll get their dogs in the street out in front of the shelter, but you know, that cannot be what we rely on as our donor base. So we need help, and you know, we are doing a program of national significance, and we need the help of ABC, and you know, all of it's public out there to help us so that we can create, you know, a regional no-kill facility that serves the East Coast.
On behalf of the volunteers with the Haven Friends for Life Animal Shelter in Rayford, North Carolina, and on behalf of the 1,000 animals and residents here, thanks for visiting ABC!